So we are doing a general review of the halachas of Amira leNochri. I'm planning on spending a little bit more time on the review of Shin Chaf Hey because only a few people logged in for that. I don't even remember who it was. I think David Walker was there. David Leib, I think.
That was last
Tuesday night. Thank you very much. Maybe one more person. So I'm going to thank you. So I'm going to, when I do the review, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that subject. But in general, this is a general review. So if you have any questions, tonight is the night to ask it. Not that means I have that I have the answers. We're starting Muktzah tomorrow night, my friends. It's Hashem.
Tell us in the last 2 weeks, what's all the recording, what's exactly Seif and Simani?
I did 325.
Everything was 325.
I believe it was 325 only.
2 weeks ago was the 2 recordings that you sent?
I believe so.
Everything was 325.
Definitely. Last Tuesday and the previous Tuesday were both 325. The one before that.
Tuesday, Monday last week was 325.
No.
Yes.
Monday we didn't last Monday.
You sent twice recorded.
Oh no! Sorry, 3 times ago was the end of Simon 307. The 2 Tuesdays were 325. Last Monday, 2 weeks ago, was the end of 307.
Which one?
Shin Zion.
307 and 325.
Yeah.
307 with Seifim.
I think Chafei to Lamed Aleph or something.
307.
Yeah.
To Lamed Aleph and the 325 the whole Simon.
The whole Simon, yeah. Whole shebang, as they say.
Yeah, no, because I was listening to the recording, but I was driving. So. Yeah, I was also exactly the same thing. I was driving from Miami Beach to Miami Beach. But one thing that caught my attention when you mentioned one of the Seif, I don't remember which recording.
Yep.
That you mentioned that if a goy doing melacha on his own.
Yep.
With a keli of a Jew.
Yep.
You're allowed to enjoy it.
You're allowed to enjoy it?
What do you mean enjoy it?
No.
No. The goy like to do it's okay to do it, but the Jew cannot benefit from that.
No.
Lamed Gimel Arasof. Sorry. Shnia. Lamed Gimel Arasof. Shin Zion. Shin Zion, yeah. Shin Zion is Lamed Gimel to Lamed Ches. In the Shulchan Aruch, it's Chaf till the end. No, sorry. Yud Test till the end. מה אמרת בנוגע לכלים של ישראל?
You said if a goy come and do something with the keli of a Jew, you're allowed to enjoy it.
For himself or for you?
He's doing it for himself, so you're allowed to enjoy it also. I think it was, I'm quite sure I was listening to it twice. So when the only thing that came to my mind, why you say on this, I think it was in 325 probably, why over there you said it's okay, but when we brought the issue with the water, if you boil water to make himself a coffee, you're not allowed to enjoy those water, to use this water.
Yep.
So, but over here, you're using a keli of the Jew, and you're not allowed to enjoy it. And the same one you said, you're allowed to. So
I don't remember.
Where's the contradiction exactly? Why?
I don't remember what I said about a keli keli that you're allowed to enjoy. I don't remember. What I do remember about in general, Alter Rebbe says, when he comes to do malach with a keli of a yid, if he's doing it for you, you have to stop him because he appears to be your shaliach. If he's doing it for himself,
this is in his home even?
Yeah.
If he's doing malacha for you in his home with your kli, it's
No,
exactly.
in his home.
Even in his home. Certainly in
It's
your
for you, it's for
Was
your
he must
benefit.
stop in?
you have to say, don't, yeah, don't stop. If he's using his own keli and he's doing it for you, you don't have to stop. Now, that doesn't mean you're allowed to benefit from it, right? You can't get any bodily benefit until after Shabbos, but if it's something you don't get bodily benefit from, or you're not going to benefit anyway till after Shiyasa, you don't have to stop. On the other end, if he's using your stuff and he's doing malacha for himself, then you don't have to stop. If your cleaning lady comes and uses your kalim for herself, she's ironing her own shirts. Akasha, you don't have to say a word. That's what I remember.
Very funny that would be allowed. I mean, let's say a lady who lives in her home.
Yep.
And she's now taking out the ironing board in the middle of the living room, doing her, you have guests. saying,
Well, that's
"This
just-
is the end of the
Rabbi,
living room."
maybe not in the living room, in the room. And she has a room.
I mean, the Maisa shall.
Oh, so she's at the end of the room, end of the living room. It's a big living room. She's at the end doing her little thing.
So
I will
you
not do that.
tell her. I mean, if it's disturbing the peace, you tell her not to. But I'm saying, one second. In general, usually when somebody is doing something for themselves, it looks more like they're doing it for themselves. In other words, usually when somebody's doing something else, you can see their relationship, helping, not helping. Usually when somebody's doing something for themselves, it's not Marasign. So they didn't make a call that this is Marasign. If it seems to you that they don't understand, so make an announcement. By the way, I let her work for herself. It's her own stuff. You're allowed to allow that. You're allowed to.
You have to make a. Well,
If you feel v'yisem dekiyim, it's not under the Chazal's umbrella, but v'yisem dekiyim, you shouldn't put yourself in a position that you're suspected. You could say, these are not my things.
You can send it to a room.
You could also do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, you could also do that.
She
If
cannot
it- if
come
it-
to the family room, you know.
If it's disturbing your peace on Shabbos, you could tell her to, but it's not considered Marazayin.
Also, if she could cook into herself, she could cook in her room, not in the kitchen, right? Rabbi?
No, it's not right. She could cook in the kitchen
Really?
for herself. I mean, you have issues of Bishalak. You have issues of Bishalak.
Kalim is another issue.
Kalim is another issue. She has her own Kalim.
She has her own feeling, it's okay. So,
Because of Bishalakim. Bishalakim. A guy told me he walked in, a mashkiach told me, he was at an event Matzah Shabbos and he was hungry, so he said, I'm going to come back in a minute. He goes to his car, he has a bite to eat, comes back and they're making this corn souffle, whatever. He says, what's going on here? Who turned on this oven for you? She says, that guy, some guy. I forgot. So he made him throw it out, but I said, you have to kasher it. I mean, maybe there's a kula, maybe, I don't know.
have to make them throw it out.
Why not?
Go ahead.
No, it's Bishalakim. This was a kasher stick, not a Shabbos stick.
It's kasher thing, nothing to do with Shabbos. Yeah, Matzah Shabbos.
Oh,
It was Bishalakim.
No, but the goy cooked something?
The guy cooked something.
With a goy turning on the thing.
Guy turned on the oven.
So why couldn't they just, I didn't say, enjoy your food, give me the kli, and I.
No, they were cooking it for the simcha. What do you mean? He's not leaving tray food around. There's tray
Well,
food,
they
you throw it out.
making corn souffle for
Yeah.
I thought even for themselves, they're just having a snack.
No. Anyway, but I said it's a shaila because in Shulchan Aruch it says you have to kasher the kid.
Why wouldn't you have to kasher the kli?
I didn't say you don't have to.
What would be the Havamina?
Well, there are shitas, if it's in your rishus, if it's your worker. I'm saying, but that's a kula.
Even if the goy turned on the fire?
I didn't say it's mutter. I said it's a shaila, and he has to ask the Rav Machsher. I'm not passing for him. He has an organization that. Anyway, the mice. Let us review.
Can you, on this Amira leNochri, can you bring it into few rules that basically around the whole Amira leNochri, surrounding, one of them, you're not supposed to say in general, since that's going to have a benefit, your valuable benefit.
Yep.
Okay. There's the whole concept of married eye, since it could be married eye.
Yeah.
What other, like say, let's say, like into 5 major rules.
I don't have 5.
Nothing can be surrounded around it.
I don't have 5, but I did.
Like headlines, like it's easy to apply. Let's say it have to be one of those that.
I don't have 5, but I do have.
I didn't say 5, can be 3, can be 10, whatever. But
I have what I sent out today. I sent out a little handout, and I have some things in here. And let's start with that. And if it's still not clear, then we'll take it from there. Okay, so 2 issues that we learned about, which are the reason for Amir leNochri on Shabbos to be Asr. One of them we said is the Isser of Shlichus. That if you have a goy doing work for you, that D'Rabbanan he's considered your shaliach. Even though Mid'Oraisa we said that a shliach is only possible for a fellow Jew, but D'Rabbanan there is the concept of shlichus for a goy. And the reason for that is because they didn't want Shabbos to be light in people's eyes, not important that they have the goy do it for them. Exactly. And we also said that applies to other areas of Torah as well, whether it's Yom Tov, whether it's Chol HaMoed, whether it's an oval in terms of work, whether it's castrating animals, uprooting fruit trees, all of these things. You can't do it. You can't tell a goy to do it. So that's issue number 1. It's Mid'Orabanan, by the way, not Mid'Oraisa. Notwithstanding the opinion, there are some opinions it's Mid'Oraisa, but that's not the main halacha. The main halacha is that it's Mid'Orabanan. The second issue we said is V'daber Davar, that you're not allowed to speak on Shabbos about forbidden malacha. So if you tell a goy to do malacha on Shabbos, that is 2 problems. You're speaking on Shabbos about a forbidden malacha, and he's doing it for you. So that's 2 problems. Now, it's possible to separate these problems out. 1 second. It's possible to separate these problems out, meaning to say in some cases, when you didn't tell him, but he does it anyway. Why? Because he's your worker and he knows that's his job, or because he comes on his own, but he does it for you, and it's clear that he's doing it for you with your kalim in your house. So then it's a problem anyway. No, I take it back. If he's your worker, he's doing it for you. If he's doing it on his own, and he's presumably going to get a tovas hanah, so he's going to get something back from it, then it's not an isser, an outright isser, because he is doing it for himself, because he wants you to give him something back in return. But it's still isser as maras ayin, if it's either in your house or if it's your kalim and so on and so forth. But in any case, so that's how it could be shlichus without davar. It could be davar without shlichus if you tell a goy on Shabbos to do work for you after Shabbos. So you're talking about work on Shabbos. He's not doing it till after Shabbos, no shlichus, but there's forbidden talk. Yes.
If you have someone who said to the boy, turn the light, the switch for them. So it's meaning like he's doing the melacha, right?
D'Rabbanan. D'Rabbanan.
The Raita,
lo D'Rabbanan can.
so the Raita, it's okay to do that?
Yeah. D'Raita, it's okay to do
Only
that.
the Rabbanan achmiru.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Now, I do want to say that I'm going to add this as I go. I'm going to add other points to my notes, and I can send that another thing later. Yes.
I know you can't tell a goy. You can't tell a goy before Shabbos to do something for you.
Exactly, because he's your shliach. Even 1 second.
But it's not an
I
issue.
want to
It's not
explain.
an issue.
It is an absolute isser.
Even if it's not Shabbos, when you tell him.
When you're telling him there's no isser because there's no davar.
Exactly.
But 1 second, when he does it, he's doing it for you because you told him to.
He's getting after he's gaining something for himself.
Doesn't make a
I
difference.
paid him before Shabbos.
Doesn't make a difference. If you tell him to, he's doing it for you.
Even though you paid him before Shabbos, that's.
If you told him he's doing it for you, even a kablan who is generally considered to be working for himself, kablan is a person who gets paid by the job, he decides his own thing. If you tell him to do it on Shabbos, then he's doing it for you. Understand? That's a shliach. Shliach means I tell somebody, can you please do this for me? You're going to pay him? Still a shliach. I send a get to Medina Sayam. The guy's not doing it for free. He's going to travel to who knows where. I'm going to pay him. Of course I'm going to pay him. But he's still my shliach. He's doing what I asked him to do. That's what it is.
You tried to stop them from doing work.
Yeah.
Let's say Shabbos is coming in, you have somebody doing work. You have to stop right now, it's Shabbos. And they continue working. You don't have an isser from the standpoint of, because you told him to stop, he's still working, but that could trigger a marasayim. Is that?
You fire him.
But that's something else. I'm just talking about from a halachic standpoint. You absolutely told him stop. He continued to do it.
We did discuss this in Reish Ayin Hey. We said that if the goy, if you told him not to do it and he did it anyway, you're even allowed to benefit from it. Because by telling him not to do it, you're showing that you didn't want him to do it, and you're allowed to benefit from it. But you have to fire him, because otherwise the whole thing's going to be a joke. You're going to tell him not to, he's going to know that you want him to do it, and he's going to do it anyway.
But you have a marasayim.
Yeah, you have to
Even though
fire
it's
them.
something beyond your control, right? How do you control the marasayim?
I mean, in the context of Reish Ayin Hey, it was talking about a guy, the guy turned on the fire. He turned it on. What are you going to do? He did it already. But in the context of what you're talking about, where he's doing work on your house, and you tell him not to do it, and he doesn't listen, you say, you're trespassing, sir. I'm going to call the police. This is my house. Get out. That's all.
But you can still benefit from the work.
Anything that he did after you told him until the police come, you can benefit from.
Who is going to call the police?
The other guy.
Remez.
That's a Remez. Actually, that's one thing I wanted to talk about, actually, in the list of things. Remez. So here's the thing. When you tell a goy to do something, b'derech remez, so even though you're not saying the words, but if that's what the remez means, you have an arrangement that when I say, pack my, when you scratch your nose, you don't even say anything, scratch your nose, he knows to turn the light on. So there's no v'da b'davar, but because he knows what it means, so it's like you're telling him. He's still doing it because you told him to. So that's a forbidden remez. There is a permissible remez, which is when you don't tell him to do it, but you indicate that you need it, and he understands on his own and he does it. That is permissible if it's not something that you're going to benefit from with your body. This is something important.
Say, I need the police. You're not telling him to call them.
Exactly. That's an example. I mean, if you amish need it, then
Rabbi,
could be it's Hakadosh Nefashos.
Rabbi, I can tell the guy, go to the other room and bring me my glasses. And it's dark over there. He's going to turn on the light. It's okay.
Yeah. That we said also. If you go with him and he turns it on, it's doing it for you. But if you stay here,
No, well, that's still
okay.
the situation. He's just asking you to go. He's just asking you to go.
And
That's
you're
allowed,
allowed to
yeah.
tell
He
him.
doesn't need the light.
No,
He
and
said that
you're,
if you need the light, and you told him
No.
you need something from another room.
and you're allowed to tell him don't
one second.
turn off the light.
If you're sending him, even if you need the light, you can send him. And
No, but I'm saying if you go with him. He said if you're in the situation, you said as long as you don't go with him. So even if you go with him, his situation where you need your glasses, you don't want, in his situation, you don't want the light.
I'm saying, well, you can't benefit from the light because it's considered that he did it for you.
You're not benefit, no.
Doesn't make a difference. If he's with you, if you're
No,
with him
he's
and he's doing it for your glasses, you cannot benefit from that.
Rabbi,
You can't benefit from that, he can benefit.
Yeah, he can. Why
Yeah,
not?
he can find your glasses and give it to you.
Yeah.
Rabbi,
But you can at that point tell him don't turn off the light.
If you weren't with him.
Right. If you weren't with him.
You're with him because that light, you're allowed to
Right,
benefit
you're
from.
out here, he went there,
Yeah.
he turned on the light, he's
Don't-
about to turn
don't
it off,
turn
you tell
the
him,
light-
you know what? leave
don't
the
turn the light
don't
off.
Turn off the light.
right?
How about, let's see if you have kind of agreement with the Goyish neighbor. Say, if you come and knock on his door, you just say in the refrigerator, say no to cows if you left the refrigerator like that. Only come and know what to do.
That's the code. That's like saying.
Or if you come and you say, okay, it's too hot in the house. Then
That's better. That's better than having
so
a
he
code.
knows. So this one is regarding the AC. You come and say the refrigerator. Say, okay. So he knows. Refrigerator, okay, I have to come and.
It has to be something that he has to figure out. If it's something that you arranged with him, that this means that, then it's still shlichus.
That's always allowed, meaning if I tell the guy, well, the refrigerator's a lot more lenient nowadays than they're on anyways. If you need the refrigerator for Shabbos.
Yeah, there's other rooms for leniency based on the other issues.
I can always give a remez.
You can give a remez if you're not going to have a physical benefit from his work. If you are, then it's not going to help you because you're not allowed to benefit till for anything he does for you. In a sense, so when it comes to, let's say, turning off a light, where we don't consider that a benefit because he didn't create the darkness, turning off a radio that's disturbing. Tell the story. Yossi was asking last week about Cortana, or whatever it's called. Alexa.
So
Let's go.
Alexa,
Whatever.
or whatever these machines are, you tell them to do whatever for you.
went to a meal, and then one of the kids, they were fooling around, and then the Alexa turned on, they made a command, and I think the guy, one of us, did not turn off before Shabbos. So we were playing music. It was playing music, and everybody was there. I was like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Was it Jewish music at least?
No, what it was. It was music. It was not Jewish music. So I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be an issue. I want to mention this to you. I mentioned the house and that. So they did actually put clothing on, but it was very loud. So it was
you just can say, Alexa, we don't play music on Shabbos?
That's a good try, actually. She has to figure it out.
But that was, you know what?
And it was nonstop.
We had that
It was
issue
you had
about
to,
a year and a half ago. We got
Just let
that
it
Alexa
alone.
thing. You can't even say the name, or else it starts going on.
The name is the problem.
So I remember he said the Shabbos that would say, "Don't say the AL name."
No, but there's some people that have certain names that are sounds, and the
That's what I'm
Alyssa.
saying. So
Yeah.
they would just say, "Just turn it off before
Yeah.
Shabbos." Just remember.
And it was we started eating and just.
There would be a case, you would say, I wish we had a way to be able to.
But there's no guy.
Just switch to Android.
There was no guy there. There was no guy.
She can't turn
So
off.
we would have to look for a guy and say,
She
I
may be
wish
able
you
to
didn't
turn
have
off with
music
a
on.
remnants though.
But the remnants. The remnants.
But
Alexa,
by bringing the
if-
going to the
if the
house.
phone-
No, and still.
but Alexa can turn.
No, but once you say the
Also,
word
you
Alexa,
can-
you're making it listen.
That's what I'm saying. But there may be.
But if the bigger is for music, so you can do that.
Make this kind of arrangement with your neighbor.
Anything that you tell him, this means that, that's just like you said,
Rabbi,
as far as shlichus.
Rabbi, the phone is Alexa is music, right? You can take it with the shinui and then kick it out from the house.
You may have a muktzah.
Actually, muktzah, you're allowed to move with the shinoi.
Foul, you know.
Muktzah, you can
Well, you
move with the
said you can
shinoi,
move
but
that.
you can't unplug it. So how far
It's
can
not
you?
plugged in.
That's not plugged in.
You
It's not
take a
plugged in?
towel. You take a towel.
If it's plugged in, there's only so far you can take it. But you can't break it, because then it's not.
No. You take a towel.
Yeah, you can cover muktzah.
Covering it up.
You're allowed to cover
it.
muktzah. You're allowed to cover muktzah.
Cover it with
If
the
it wasn't
blanket and the pillow.
With the sheen, can you?
The shinoi you can move it, yeah.
I thought it was, I'll know this more, let me just remember the name, I thought it was, Buktzah Mechamat Chashon Kis.
The shinoi you can move.
The Shinu can move Mechamat Chashon Kis.
It's much like Zishanim, but we'll get to it. That's the halach.
There won't be a Shinu in the situation, let's say, my phone went off on Shabbos.
See, the problem with the phone is that every time you move it, the screen lights up. It's not just the movement; it's the pick it up and it tells you the time.
No.
Ah, here's the.
Rabbi, look. Rabbi.
If you're not activating anything and you're moving kalach hayad, I don't see why it should be different than here.
Mine doesn't do anything.
Fine, I don't see why not.
It won't be a Shinu.
Look,
Like this,
yours is
kalach hayad.
Can I do
Rabbi.
That's the achayad.
yours is
Right.
right.
Oh, to remove it completely.
Can move.
Can I move the plug now?
Into something.
No, That's not
Pasha.
Pasha. That's not Pasha. No, putting it into something else and then moving it with that thing is not Pasha, because the whole purpose of moving it is for the muktzah, not for that thing. We're going to get to it. There's a lot of details about that.
How come your light, it's on when you move it?
Mine has the time turns on when I move it.
You can change that, then, right?
I could, but I don't.
I had a question.
I try to turn it off before Shabbos and not worry about it.
Isn't it by bringing it into your house,
that's what I
turn
do.
it off?
I'm sorry?
Isn't it itself an issue? Even though it's like you do it as a remnant, you want to tell them that.
Put it this way. In
There's no
this
going to the
case,
house, you can bring it
in
right
this
to the
case,
space to
I would say you could tell a goy to turn it off, even if you better with the remes. But if not, no, because it's only electricity, so it's a shvus, and it's disturbing your Shabbos meal.
No, we ask a general question. It sounds like it's fine, right? To just bring a guy into your house and ask him to do something.
For the acre of turning something
There's no
off.
problem.
A remes.
Inviting a guy in and then doing a proper remes to do something.
Yeah. If you do it with a permissible remes, then it's okay. Here's an example of a forbidden remes, and we have to use this as an example from which we can learn. So it says in Shin Lamed Daled, this is actually one section of Amira leNochri we're not going to learn. So in case you want to do your own research, Shin Lamed Daled is about Sreifa b'Shabbos. So there's a few sifim there about getting a goy to extinguish a fire. And there it says you're allowed to tell a goy, Kol ha'machaba ein mafsid. Whoever puts out the fire is not going to lose. That is a remez that is normally usher, but Chazal permitted it for the purpose of putting out a fire. Meaning to say, the fact that you're saying, I have a fire, I wish somebody would put it out, that's not the problem. The fact that you're saying Ein Mafsid is not going to lose, which means that you're going to pay him, that's what it means. That's a kind of remez that is actually normally usher, only permissible for the purpose of a fire. So, for example, you wouldn't be allowed to say, even for a fire, I'm going to pay him, because that's too direct. Saying he's not going to lose, and he figures out he's going to gain, that's only permissible for fire. So you can see that a remez is a tricky thing. You know, what remez is allowed and what is not. Yeah.
Who is going to, you're not going to lose, and he doesn't understand. And the fire is going to all over the house.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, because it was.
Somebody called me a Masa Shabbos. I missed the call, Baruch Hashem. But she says that she had her Shabbos candles and she had her Hanukkah candles, and it got too hot and the flames were just going crazy. And she put it out.
So she need to cook.
She called Masa Shabbos. I don't know. Tikkun. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
She need to cook.
She called me Masa Shabbos.
What's tikkun? Rabbi, what tikkun she can
Last year. This year?
Yeah, this year, yeah.
Really?
Where?
Oh no, I saw this. She would use there's a.
Yeah, but if there's a real sakana, can't you put it out?
And it was like melting the whole table. That plastic, and the guy like
I
bring an
heard
extinguisher.
about that one. I heard about that one. I'm sorry?
Which tikkun?
I said if it's a sakana, can't you put it out even though it's Shabbos or Yom Tov?
If it's a zakana, yes, absolutely. Or if the fire could spread to other houses, you don't know who's in those other houses, then also, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because you don't know how long it's going to take the fire department to get here, so you know.
I mean, any person who is in a place that the fire could spread to another house, I think it's a sakana. I think. Certainly in the apartment building, no question. No question about it. I don't know. I don't want to paskin. It's a difficult shaila. Lamaisa, I'm not a regular Rav. I missed the call. She hasn't called back. She'll get a ticket from whoever else. I don't know. It's hard.
You didn't mention 307. You did 243, 244, 252, 276. 325, you didn't mention 307.
We did 307, yeah.
I know you mentioned not 307, but in the beginning you didn't mention 307.
I'm sure I did.
Wrote it down. And it said 308, 309, 310. Could it be mixed up?
Yeah, no. We said 306 and 307. Both. Okay, my friends.
43, 44, 52, 76, and 306, 307, 325.
75, I think 375, no?
375?
No? What was 375?
You didn't say 375.
Didn't no, 376. 375 something else. Yeah, 376.
276.
Yeah, 276. That's what I meant. 276.
252.
Yeah.
Is the term like mimotze chafsecha? Does that is that like doing something for your body, or is that just how's that different than
One more time. I didn't hear you. Is the term what?
How is davar the davar, which you shouldn't talk like you talk during the week, different than mimotze chafsecha?
Yeah.
Did you hear?
You're asking about the davar davar, but I don't understand your question.
How is that different than motze chafsecha? Isn't that?
Memtzoy chefzecha is the action, and the davar davar is the words.
Uh-huh.
So if you do something to help yourself, with your weekly affairs, that's memtzoy chefzecha. So, for example, if you walk around your factory, seeing what needs to be fixed, that's memtzoy chefzecha.
So it's like doing actions, physical actions.
That's an action, yeah. The davar davar is words. Ani lo lomer, ani omer Torah sheba'al peh. I sent a reshima, I sent an email a long time ago with all the simanim that we're learning. Okay. 261, you have there also? 261? Bein hashmashos. 261 is about bein hashmashos.
When you said 261,
yeah.
What's 261, Rabbi?
Reish Samach Aleph.
Reish Samach.
Ken.
43, 44, 61, 52, 76. This on the 200, yeah? I miss anything?
I don't think so.
261, we did everything, no?
No, just the sections about Amira leNochri. Okay. So, we said, based on the fact, the concept of shlichus, even if he is not told by you to work, if he is your worker, he is considered to be your shaliach. Worker, we said, is defined as schir yom.
Even if he doesn't get money, so shliach.
What do you mean? Why is he a worker if he doesn't have money?
No, not a worker. Like an example, when I told you tell your neighbor, the guy, so like you can do like go Shabbat, you come, you call him, and you know what to do. So there's no cut.
So, in general, when a guy who is not your worker does something for you,
he doesn't get paid for it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
When a guy who's not your worker does work for you, that's called tovas hano. That's called that he's doing it in order to get something back. I'm sure nobody's listening, although this is still being recorded and uploaded to YouTube, so anybody could listen to it. But we, in general, consider that people are selfish. And if they're doing it, they expect something back. Now, they're your neighbor, so they're not going to expect payment, but they expect that when they're away, you'll take in their mail, or that you'll give them a nice gift at the holiday season, whatever. They expect something back. That's called tovas hano. So when it comes to tovas hano, that is actually similar to a kablan, insofar as you don't have to stop him from doing work, but you cannot get benefit in your body from that work. So to turn something off is okay. To turn something on is a problem. Anything that you're going to benefit from is going to be a problem.
So to tell him it's too hot and you come and load the AC.
So you said tovas hana is equal to what again?
It's like a kablan.
Oh, like a kablan. Okay.
Turning the AC lower seems to be a difficult shaila, and I think it's only permissible for a situation of some dechak, some difficulty. Guests, a lot of people, uncomfortable, shvus to shvus. I don't think it's allowed just under, slight difference. If there's only a slight difference, I wouldn't say to do. What about it? To do what?
before you open the door, you know.
So the refrigerator has two issues. Opening and closing the door is only a psik reisha. And we said the principle that a psik reisha al yidei goy is mutter, meaning to say because his intention is not to turn the light on or off, his intention is to open the door, there's no isser in that whatsoever. On the other hand, taking the light out, that's a malacha. Machabe, 1 second, that's one of the 39 malachas. But one could argue maybe that's only d'Rabbanan because he's not creating a coal. His machabe, he's putting it out without creating a coal.
Let me ask you a specific issue. I didn't happen, not going to happen, but let's say my refrigerator, I have to put before Shabbos 2 magnets on top on a certain point, and then it turned off the whole display.
It's not good.
Okay.
1 second, when you put the magnets in, something turns off automatically, or when you open it up, it's not going to turn on. What do the magnets do?
Stop the light off.
So that when you,
I can open the door, if I put the magnet, then open the door, the light's not going to come on. The sun not gonna come on.
so maybe you can do the magnets yourself.
So no, so I just basically when I'm doing it when the door opens, then I put the magnet to be sure that balance is off. I never try to do it when the door closes and put the magnet and then.
No, but I'm wondering, maybe you can do it
So
yourself.
if I know, let's say if it's work, I'm allowed to put the 2 magnets.
Why? I'm thinking, why not?
Any books of magnets?
Are they moktzah? Are magnets moktzah? I don't think so.
What else would be the problem? Nothing's on. You're putting that to prevent.
Yeah, well, in general, you're allowed to stop a malacha from happening. You can't do a malacha. You can stop a malacha from happening. I'll give you an example. Somebody asked me once about a similar thing where he has a switch. He has a switch on the side of his fridge. He switches it up or down, whatever way. Outside, he switches it up or down, whichever one, and the light doesn't go on. If it's in the right position, the light doesn't go on. So if he forgot on Shabbos, he forgot before Shabbos to switch it. Can he switch it? So I said, that's what I said. I said, kalachar yad, yes. The switch itself is muktzah, because it's controlling, but kalachar yad, yes, because you're not actually doing anything. You're just stopping something from happening.
Rabbi, we study, if you open a refrigerator, you know it's not going to be on. You don't want the light. So you're allowed to open, but you cannot close. We studied that, Rabbi.
Oh my goodness.
We studied that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying for we study, you open the refrigerator, you don't need the light for the refrigerator.
No, I said something of the sort. That if you have another light shining in your fridge, so it's the malacha, if you were to ask a goy, if it would be LED light, I think we said if it would be LED lights. Pretty much, it's the whole machlokes if a davar, it's a d'Rabbanan, she'eno,
Something like
it's a
that.
d'Rabbanan that you're not miskaven, you're not,
Yeah,
you're allowed
we
to turn
studied
together.
But not in the refrigerator.
You
Refrigerator,
cannot
we
open a refrigerator that turns the light on.
We don't want
Cannot.
the light first. The refrigerator.
Cannot.
You go, I want
But
to
you know it's
drink.
going to happen. You know it's going to happen.
No, I don't know. That's
What do you
what
mean you don't
that's
know?
a trick.
It's not. You know it's
No.
going to happen.
No,
Come on. It's
you put the magnet. You open and it's light. No, now what's happening?
Don't close it.
You cannot close it. That's what we study.
No, but
What
you
no?
know
What
in
no?
advance it's
You
gonna-
put magnet. Why you don't open the refrigerator? You do. And sometimes the magnet doesn't work 100%. I had the magnet too. And you open and it's light. Boom. What you
Can't
gonna
close
do?
it. You can't close it.
You cannot
Leave
close
it
it.
open. Leave it open a little bit. Leave it open a
Or you
little
call
bit.
the guy.
Hold it going.
Bring me something from the refrigerator to drink.
Whatever.
And then you will
Tell
close
the
it.
guy. You can't
That's
open
what-
it.
But we
Can't open
study,
it.
Rabbi.
We studied a lot of
You don't-
things, but you can't open it. I don't know what you're
You
talking about.
cannot, but you know it's a magnet. But he's not going to open the refrigerator, Rabbi. It's a magnet.
He's saying two different things, but the beginning case that he was giving, we did say something very similar, I just forgot exactly what.
Yes,
We were
I
talking
remember
about,
that.
I think we
I
were
think
talking
it was
about
even-
lighting the menorah or something. I don't know.
I think it was even before you came, we're learning it.
Yeah.
Before, yes.
What?
So it was something that since it's d'Rabbanan, not that you're allowed to open, for sure not allowed to open, right? But it was some case that we brought
Yes.
up, that if the light is shining and you really didn't need the light in the fridge,
Yes.
and it was double shade, it was kavein, and you're not nanny from the light.
Yes,
I forgot
yes.
exactly what the situation was, but we did mention something of the sort. Now he's asking a different question. What if you know that there is slip ups with the magnets. So it's a suffix.
There is a machlokes about suffix psikresha. I thought maybe that's what you were saying. There is a machlokes about suffix psikresha. If you're not sure if you took the bulb out or not, it's a suffix psikresha. If it's actually screwed in, it's for sure going to go on. If it's not, it's for sure not going to go on. But you don't know which one it is. It's a suffix psikresha. There's a machlokes about that. If suffix psikresha is us or not.
So you don't
So
need the light.
we don't rely on the lenient opinion unless there's another tziruf, unless there's another reason to be lenient.
So that's what we studied about? Because
I thought a suffix secret you could do yourself if it's necessary.
Taz says yes, the Ramban says no, and the
Says yes?
Ramban says no, the Taz says yes, and the poskim don't pass like the Taz outright, but they are soymech on him together with other considerations.
What other Rishon says yes? The Taz is saying yes.
I don't remember.
Okay. In a case, let's say, for example, you ask your wife, do you shut off the light? Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. I really don't remember. Could be I did. Could be I didn't.
So it was a great shout.
Doubt, if there's doubt, we can.
It's a doubt.
Then you can't rely on the.
Oh, and the chazaka that she does it always? I don't know. I don't know if there's such a chazaka.
That's not what I'm saying. You can't rely on the suffix secret.
On the Taz,
It's not
no.
secret for you. It's actually. Actually, it is a secret for you. It's a secret.
Self-exaggeration. It's better to check your pockets for Shabbos to make sure nothing is in it. But what if you don't hold by carrying an Erev and you check quickly before Shabbos and miss that there's a Metro card in the inside breast pocket of your sports jacket, and you notice it the next day when you're a few blocks from home walking to shul? Should you throw it on the street, or is it better not to touch it at all because it's muktzah? It depends how expensive it is. He wants to know if you're carrying something by mistake on Shabbos and you don't hold by the Erev. So, I mean, if there's a kosher Erev, so there's an Erev.
You better go back to the same place where you left, way over there.
Listen, if there's an Erev and it's something that expensive, you don't have to go back to the same place. Go to a different place. Put it down. Put it somewhere safe. There's an Erev.
He doesn't hold by it. He just
There's an Erev. If it's not a good Erev, okay, that's something else. But if it's a kosher Erev, you have a chumrah. You want to be machmir. If there's no Erev, then there's a whole procedure.
like what you forgot, Rabbi.
No, that's the more practical case.
What we forgot.
Meaning, see, you're machmir on the Erev, okay, it's a beautiful blessing to be machmir on the Erev, but Lamaisa, there's still an Erev and plenty to use it. But if you don't have an Erev, let's say you're in a vacation place, you walk outside.
If there is no Erev and you walk outside and you realize while you're still walking that you're carrying something, if it's not expensive, like tissues, you just throw it out, kalach hayad, finished.
While you're walking?
While you're walking. If it is expensive, then you have to run with it till a place that you can throw it down safely and throw it in there, kalach hayad.
If it's something in your jacket pocket.
Like over your shoulder. Like over your shoulder.
That's when it's something that you can't drop.
Put it down, kalach hayad.
Rabbi, you cannot take the jacket out like this, Rabbi, and then upside down in the corner.
Upside down? I don't know if upside down is kalach hayad.
I mean, take the
Really
jacket,
juggling, taking it,
the jacket, and then check it in the corner.
Checking it out?
shaking it out of your jacket.
Maybe it is.
It's shinoi, right?
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Because if I throw it behind me, if it's a glass or something, it's gone.
I don't remember the last time you shook things out of the jacket pocket. Good for some shots.
Because you
Okay.
check it before Shabbat.
Very good. Another thing, if you don't want to, if you did stop, by the way, if you did stop, then you have to do pachas medal aravas.
What's that?
Yeah, but it's only mutter if there's a big financial loss, or if there's two people back and forth.
Passive.
Every 4 hours. Every 4 hours. But then,
one step or two step, Rabbi?
muktzah, how do you have muktzah in your hands on Shabbos? Oh, in your jacket pocket. That's difficult.
Can you put it in
That's
in the
difficult.
hat, Rabbi? In the cover?
I don't know if there's a hat there.
Can you put it in a cover, Rabbi?
Can you call someone to come pick up the phone?
Very good one.
Difficult.
He's doing it for you, huh?
Difficult.
רבי, בכובע, שם אותו בתוך הכובע, ואחר כך מיד ליד. אפשר?
מה זה עוזר לכובע?
זה פחות, לא נוגע במוקצה.
לא יודע. לא יודע. There's a lot to learn, my friends. A lot to learn.
ברוך השם.
All right. Now, if it is something, going back to what we're discussing, a situation of a kabbalah who, or any person who's doing something with Tevis Hano.
How about not to do something that's not in your house or not in your backyard?
Exactly.
Because you're going to be married iron. So
Exactly.
is going to be used only in a place that's not married iron.
Exactly. Exactly. Kabbalah can do work for you on Shabbos if you don't tell him, and if it's in his domain, not in your domain.
His domain or any other domain that's not married iron.
Exactly.
Yeah,
His domain or anywhere but your domain. That's the bottom line.
Le-
If it's your domain, so for example, a guy who's working on your house, no heter, unless it's out of the tchum of any Jew.
Rabbi,
If there is such a thing.
he can go Home Depot and buy all the material and put it in his car on Shabbat for Sunday. Because he's Kabbalah and he's doing on his own 7 time.
Well, those things don't belong to him anyways. He bought it with his own money.
It's Kabbalah. You know.
Action to the
Come on, don't be sure when you put this stuff.
We studied that. We studied.
Not my problem.
Yeah, we studied that. Yes.
It only depends when you told him to do the job and when you told him to start.
He is Kabbalah. He is Kabbalah, period. He can do whatever he wants. Not in your property. Right, Rabbi? Anything he can do will not in your property. So he can go to Home Depot. It's not my home. We started off before we went to the vacation, a week before.
Yeah, but if you just something contract just before Shabbos and tell me you have to start on Sunday. So you know for sure you have to go get the stuff on during Shabbos.
It's his time.
You have to give him enough time to do it also.
He's working already.
Reish mem dalet vav va'afilu lasis betalosh imu letzorech mechuber kegoin lifsel reish mem dalet vav kegoin lifsel ha'avonim u'lasakan ha'kores kedei l'shakan bebinyan tzarech limches biyadim u'b'teich ha'tchum afilu oisei rachak me'abinyan ואפילו איזה בסיס של דבר נקרא שאיזה בשביל בניין זה שעל ישראל מקום מוקם כיוון שסופו לשקם בהבניין הידינים כהבניין עצמוי. שמעת? אם הוא עובד בתלוש בשביל מחובר, צריכים למחות בידו שלא יעשה בשבת.
צריכים למחות.
למחות.
אבל הוא הולך הביתה.
להגיד לו שלא...
איזה סעיף רבי אמרנו?
מה אני אגיד לו מה לעשות?
תראה, אם לא נודע לך, לא נודע לך. אבל אם נודע לך, צריכים להגיד לו, לא בשבת.
לא בשבת.
אפילו בבית שלך. אם זה לצורך מחובר, הוא כאילו גוזר את העצים והוא...
More bricks, no?
bricks, whatever.
Bricks, he manufactured the bricks by his house and to build the house.
Exactly. We're machmir on that.
But he's not coming to my house. He's doing whatever he wants in his house. So whatever he does, if he's prepared for himself, it's not my business.
No, if he's preparing it for your house, mechuber lakarka, you can't let him do it on Shabbos.
How?
If you know.
I know.
If you know.
I don't know.
If you don't know, you don't know. You don't have to tell him before not to do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry that he's going to do it. But if you find out, you have to tell him to stop.
During.
Yeah, I mean, for next time. Okay. Coming back to what we were saying before about a case where Be'etzem he's allowed to do the work because he's a Kabbalah and he's not on your property, and you didn't tell him to do it on Shabbos, or Tovas Hano, nevertheless, when all is said and done, you cannot receive any bodily benefit from any work done for a Jew on Shabbos. For a Jew on Shabbos, whether it was done for you or for any other Jew. Not only that, even if he did it for himself, if it's something that he might add to for you, you cannot benefit either if he knows you. And there's a fear that he might add for you.
So how do you used to do it with the Chayat? You give him the jacket to do, and you do it on Shabbat, Rabbi.
That's allowed.
That's allowed.
Yeah.
He's doing your melacha, Rabbi, on jacket.
But you didn't tell him to do it on Shabbat.
Here, I don't tell him to buy also.
Exactly. But when it's Letzoros Mechubar, we're more strict. Anything Mechubar Lakarka is more strict.
A jacket is not Mechubar Lakarka.
Exactly. That's why you don't have to stop. Only something that's Mechubar Lakarka, we're strict not just on the Karka itself, but even on the things that will be Mechubar Lakarka later. We apply the Marasayim also. But I don't know about buying at Home Depot, because buying, it's not the right, I don't know. Sewing it and fixing it and making it, zeken. But I don't know if buying is, I don't
You
know.
can buy, right? I don't know.
I think so, but I'm not sure. Buying is there, but I don't know. I
I'm
don't know.
going to tell him, but he's a guy, he's come down.
Yeah.
I think also we study about if he's building for me in different city and nobody see it. And
In a city that no Yidden live.
Yeah.
No. Not one Yid. Not even you. Because if you live there, you might have guests that come and see.
No, it's not my house. I live here in Hollywood. And he's building in Miami.
Miami is full of Jews.
Where?
Everywhere.
The Jews are everywhere, I'm telling you.
So he cannot build in Miami.
Chabad's there. Don't worry.
In Riyadh, on the other hand,
Chabad isn't there yet.
Saudi Arabia,
Yeah, but when
You'd be
you're in
surprised.
different areas, how the Marit Ayin will come into effect if nobody knows that this
Yemen.
house belongs to a Jew?
Jews in Yemen.
usually people know.
You know, is building it to a purpose to sell it.
Usually
Not going to
people
live
know.
over there.
Usually people know. It's on the MLS, people can see.
For what? You can put under a company name. It's not the.
Look it up. You can
We study-
Yeah, but people don't just.
We study if he build it on Shabbat, no Jew cannot buy the house.
Exactly.
How we study that? I remember everything, every word the Rabbi said.
That is correct. Okay, so
When you buy a new house, how do you know that it is never done any children during Shabbat?
it's going to be a new level hechsher. New level hechsher.
Chances are,
Hechsher on the
that,
house.
a lot of developers are Jewish, let's
Oh,
face it.
wow. But it all, right. No,
A
it's-
lot of
it's a
developers are
huge-
Jewish.
We mentioned this
I
question
have a
about
Not from any means, but chances are that
We talked about
where there's money, there's Jews.
a Jew build also,
Developing
not
building houses for kids.
For sure.
not the religion is building
I
it
can't
out.
imagine that his father was so not, the thought about not letting him work, not letting.
They go and work.
Let him work. on Shabbos.
For sure.
So I can't get an apartment in something else.
Do you know that now?
Anybody
They
can
won't
build.
be allowed to sell the house to Jews?
No, you cannot. Jew, we study that, Rabbi.
And did we say even about a kabbalah or just about a schiyam?
Anybody will build on Shabbat,
Fine.
Jewish, not Orthodox. If he building, we do not allow to buy that.
If you know the developer is
Study that.
Jewish and he's still in the building in Shabbos,
You know.
you live in a building,
It's a big.
What if you have Goyish partners also? Does that help?
No. Why? Why would it? So, I can imagine they not work on Shabbos.
but you know the guy is Jewish, that's the thing.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go,
fair.
itself is already an issue, I think. If you
So
know
you
that the
go-
developer
let's
is, the
say-
developer is.
Let's say me,
he's a Yid.
you, and Glenn are going to have a partner, 7 people.
תשמעו חבריי, Abayis shenivne b'Shabbos bekablonos. Mutter le'yisol ikonos lander by lefish yesh misha matre kablonos noche afilu b'mechubar. Uchadai ulisme chala b'riyah, but I think this is Rabbeinu Tam. Our leNochri schir yoim shebana b'Shabbos.
How do you know who he's a kabbalah or a schir?
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Who's Schiri?
What do you mean?
What
The
is
contractor hires workers. You think the guys who go up there on the construction suits, the kablanim? The workers, the simple workers.
No, what?
The simple workers are paid by the hour. They clock in and they clock out. That's called a schir shah. That's called a schir shah. Same as a schir yad.
He's renting people. I'm renting him. I'm renting this contract.
Subcontracting.
He's subcontracting other people, and that's my.
No, he's not subcontract. That's his issue. If he's Jewish, I'm not talking about. If the developer is Jewish,
No, I gave it over to a contract. I said, you will build a house. I will pay you for the house. Now
And then
he can
he
do it.
hires.
Now I'm asking. I'm not saying. I'm not trying to say. I don't know the rest. He goes and does London.
if he's not Jewish and he hires other people, then it's only and so he's your kablan. That's not an issue for you. But if the contractor or the subcontractor, whatever it is Jewish, if the guy who's hiring the schira yom is Jewish, then it's a problem.
and then
Let me ask you
you
a
don't allow to benefit from this house.
But again, how do you know? That's our question.
Exactly.
Again,
You don't
the
know.
majority of developers.
You don't know. You don't know.
Say that you-
Are not Jewish.
I'm saying, but certain areas, there's a lot of Jewish developers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you should not
I
buy
don't-
from a Jewish developer.
No, I don't think so.
Let's say that we have this house that, a Jew is not allowed to buy. But if a goy already bought it and flip it to a goy.
So I was gonna say,
Because you buying it now from the goy, you don't know what was the history. You have
You
to know
never
the
allowed to buy
history.
a house ever that was ever worked on like this. It was a
how do you know? That's the
It went
issue.
through 6
I'm
years.
not gonna say worked on. I'm talking about built. I'm talking about
The house was built through Jewish people.
The house
100%
built in the
Jewish
history.
if the schir yom was working for a Jew, nachon lahachmer shelo yikonos ba shum yisrael la'olam.
I didn't walk in.
As the first,
Yeah.
as the first
Sure not
owner,
buy.
No.
or as the second.
Lo mishana.
But if you
All
don't,
right, so let's look at a practical example. Should you never buy a house from a non-from Jew? Because chances are they've worked on their
and
house.
if you don't know about
No, I'm talking about building the house, not fixing
They
it.
work, developers.
Building.
Okay, but
Building.
I'll give you an example. A lot of developers in Sunny Isles are Jewish.
No, when they let's say they refurbished their house,
Yeah.
they didn't do it themselves. They hired a contractor. The contractor hired subcontractors.
And on Shabbos, they're doing
Yeah,
projects.
Okay, whether
You don't have to be chayshish.
developers in Sunny Isles, and I could get an apartment in one of the developments, one of the buildings.
Yeah.
They're obviously they're built during Shabbos, and I've seen many times that they're working on it.
Sure, if the schira yom are working for Jews, then it's a problem.
The names are out there.
The
They're
names are
very
out
Jewish
there, yeah.
names.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Find out by all means.
So if you see a Jewish name saying, great new luxury buildings developed by
But this much could be.
so-and-so, so-and-so,
Temporary,
so-and-so,
yeah.
stay away.
Yeah, but if he's the big guy on the building, he's not hiring the construction workers with the lunch boxes. It's the guy who's hiring those guys. If he's Jewish, that's the issue. That's the issue. If there's an
But he's the owner.
If you don't know, it's okay.
If somebody's that in that level, that's a
He's making
developer.
money off
He's not gonna be the one that's hiring.
That's what
people,
I'm
right?
saying.
He's
That's
the
what I'm
developer.
saying. That's what I'm saying. So the fact that there's a Jew on the top doesn't mean that it's us.
but if you don't know, it's okay.
Presumably, it's a minority of cases that have this problem. So it's presumably the unless you know otherwise, you can assume the majority is
Because
kosher.
we are a medina של גויים, so we don't know, and then we can.
Nachon. That's correct.
That is living in any place. Can you have like a business at a place? Can you like inhabit a place? Or
Shelo yikonos bala. You can't even walk in.
can you walk?
It was built by a Sir Yom who was working for a Jew. You can't even walk in.
If you're invested, rented, not talking about.
You can't walk in. You can't go in for a cup of water.
So basically like מקום של עבודה זרה.
Yeah.
How about a place of
Like a
business?
church.
Wow.
I'm not saying for
How
sure.
about a
Even
place
if
of
that
business?
Jew sold it to a goy. The goy sold it to another goy. times 5 more boys.
What does lo'ilam mean? I mean,
Like a
that's,
chain of title. Right? Yeah.
lo'ilam means lo'ilam. What are you going to do?
How about a business owned by a Jew who works on Shabbos?
What about it?
You walk into that business. You
He's
buy-
like a building,
He owns a building, he's a,
And he owns a business.
Business is open on Shabbos, but the building is not built on Shabbos.
so it just applies to it building, not if there's transactions
No,
going on there
I
on
want the building, the
Shabbos.
physical building was built in a forbidden way. You can't benefit from it by walking in. You're benefiting from that building by walking in.
Is that
The
only
fact that they do forbidden things on Shabbos, I mean, a lot of non-frum homes, you know what I mean? You're not going to go to,
I wonder why they didn't make it clear. So let's say, for example, a store that's owned by a Jew that's B'chal Shabbos. Why didn't they make it clear that you're not allowed to buy from?
exactly?
you can punish them and not give him
Can you buy an item that was made on Shabbos? So can you buy?
there's definitely
That
a
would be a great
mitzvah
gazera because
to
Home
support
Depot is
Shomer
owned by
Shabbos,
Jews.
no question about it.
Why isn't there a Xera against, for example,
Yeah,
my dry cleaner
Mhm.
or
The
my
founder
owner
of Home Depot is blank.
He's a
It's
Jew. who lets his workers off on Sunday?
It's
Not
public.
on
That's
Saturday.
It's
He
never
works
a
on
public
Saturday.
company.
Goes upstairs, he works on
It's always
Shabbos.
a public company. It was-
He himself
by
also?
Arthur Blank.
He himself goes there.
But I'm saying, that would
He
have,
himself goes there and he runs the store, etc.
that would have
Interesting
prevented
shot.
building homes anyway on Shabbos.
Interesting Shaila.
They should have had that
Did you ever
gazera.
have him in to say maybe you're not allowed to go in during the week?
Lowe's is also, also owned by Jew. Lowe's.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lowe's is
the Shaila is, if you are benefiting from his work
I
on
know.
Shabbos.
There's a lot
Meaning
of
to
people
say,
that are like,
I mean, if he,
a lot of
I mean, there's no way of knowing this, but if he would purchase, if he would make his purchases on Shabbos, you know what I'm saying? That's when he buys his
and all these things.
cleaning chemicals, and then you're gonna,
Why would you have to say that?
I mean,
I
you
don't
know, like for example,
That's the-
Do you know that?
I'm saying that's the thought of a Makam Lahachmer. If you want to ask about a Makam Lahachmer, besides the general idea of supporting Shomer Shabbos, but in terms of halacha, to say it's aser, it would seem that it would be a shaila if there's a benefit to you from the fact that it's open on Shabbos.
Right, so let's say, there's two dry cleaners, one on upstairs, whatever the case is. One case is that, case is you can go to him, or you can go to him. Is there an isser that you go to the one who is B'chal Shabbos? If you have a Jewish one to support, or is it you just didn't fulfill the mitzvah of supporting
The
something?
Pashas, it's just you didn't fulfill the mitzvah. I don't think there's an iser. If there's no Chil Shabbos involved in your,
No,
I'm saying, if you didn't benefit from Chil Shabbos, I don't think there's an iser to go to him, just like there's no iser to go to a goy. But you didn't fulfill the mitzvah of supporting Chil Shomer Shabbos. V'chi simkeru mimker la'amisecha, oikone meyad amisecha. When you sell, you should preferably sell to amisecha. Amisecha means a Jew, but it also means with you. A Jew who keeps their mitzvahs. And buying, selling, both. My mechanic, I schlep all the way here for Shomer Shabbos mechanic. He's not frum, but he closes on Shabbos. So, at least for that. Sorry? Baruch Hashem, yes?
Is it a bigger mitzvah or is it are you doing a mitzvah of supporting people who are Shomer Shabbos?
I'm supporting his Shmira Shabbos. Let's put it that way. I'm supporting his Shmira Shabbos. If it was a frum guy,
Because it's Saturday or he closes?
no, he's Israeli, he's traditional, you know. I think he does it because of that. I don't think it's done by accident.
Not for the record, there's no Jews who don't keep Shabbos. They just don't keep the whole Shabbos, they keep part of the Shabbos.
I hear you.
To sleep.
I hear you.
Or that it's not that they're keeping Shabbos, not breaking Shabbos. Keeping Shabbos is actions, you have to do something to keep it.
Yeah.
Sleeping is also,
Not breaking Shabbos, not doing something actively.
I hear. Okay, so let's.
I have a Shomer Shabbos on camera.
Yeah.
It's very honest.
From guy?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Rabbi, we study about my mechanic is Israeli, and he has poalim, only goyim, and he doesn't work, only the poalim go. So,
He's open Shabbat?
yeah, I talk Shabbat. And but I did not. He told me to give.
You shouldn't give him your car over Shabbat because the goyim that are working for him on Shabbos,
It's not considered him.
Rabbanan, yeah.
That's why he said bring the car on Friday. I said not.
No, during the
I'll give
week.
it to him on Monday.
That's correct. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about this Bichdei Sheyasa situation. If a goy does something for any Jew, whether you or any other Jew, you're not. If it's a d'oraisa, it's a d'oraisa. Then you and no other Jew can benefit from that until after Shabbos Bichdei Sheyasa. The whole reason why we're machmer in a house lo'ilam is because it's very public, and it's like anything public we say asur for. But a regular thing is not public, so it's only asur b'chdei sheyasa. B'chdei sheyasa means the amount of time it takes to do that thing, plus travel time. So if they brought it from wherever, they picked fruit and they brought it from wherever, you have to wait until Shabbos, after Shabbos, the time to pick it and bring it.
So let's say
Coming from Israel.
You cannot enjoy the light in the room. After Shabbos, it's like exactly 2 seconds.
Yeah, because there's a very small amount of time. But if they cooked something, now there might be bishul, there might be bishul akum issues. But let's say there's no bishul akum because the oven, the light, the fire was on before, it wasn't fit for kings, whatever. So the amount of time it takes to cook that thing, you would have to wait. So
These were from the rice.
this is if they did an Isser D'Oraisa, then you have to wait B'chdei Sheyasa. If they did an Isser D'Rabbanan, then the person who it was done for cannot benefit, but others can benefit,
On Shabbos.
even on Shabbos.
Why?
Even on Shabbos.
Why
And the ones that did
why
on the
I send up the
If it's an Isser D'Oraisa, so we say, listen, Isser D'Oraisa was done, we don't want any Jew to benefit. Even though it wasn't for him, we don't want any Jew to benefit. It's all a knas to make sure that doesn't happen again. But because it's an Isser D'Oraisa, it's a more strict thing.
exactly. That's what I'm
Or
saying.
machmer even on somebody else.
Oh, so I got confused. Okay, so you're more machmir when it comes to the midoraisa, obviously.
Exactly.
Okay,
That not only the one who was done for, but others also
General.
cannot benefit. So, for example, we said this in 325. If a goy brought something from outside of the tchum, that is only an Issa D'Rabbanan. Outside the tchum is Issa D'Rabbanan. Now, there might be issues of other issues. You know, if it's something that has to be plucked from a tree, that's a deraisa. If it's an animal that has to be trapped, that's a deraisa. But let's say it's none of those things. It's food that was already made.
We study Shaliach is driving for Shabbat and he getting and they eat. Study that, right?
If he's a kablan, like a UPS guy, then there's no issue because he brought it on his own. But if he is doing it for you, not a kablan, stam, on his own, he's doing it for you. Tavasana, he's your friend, and he knows that you like dates. And he brought dates for you on Shabbos. And those dates were not picked on Shabbos, but he brought them from outside of the Tchum on Shabbos. So there we say, that's a good question. That's a good question, actually. If there's no Eruv, or even if there is an Eruv, so then there's then there's a Shaila of a D'Oraisa. No Eruv is a Shaila of D'Oraisa. Because it's just a rabbin, maybe it's D'Oraisa, maybe D'Rabbanan. So that's another Shaila. But let's say, according to the person, let's say we have no Rishus Rabbim D'Oraisa. Yes, machloket baze. The Fia Shitot, according to the opinions that say there is no Rishut Rabbim D'Oraita. So he took it, he carried it, that's D'Rabbanan. Took it out of the Tchum, that's D'Rabbanan. So the one he did it for cannot benefit. His B'nai Bayit also cannot benefit. But other people can benefit even on Shabbat. No, guests also not. They're also all B'nai Bayit. They're all B'nai Bayit. I didn't say the synagogue. I said the B'nai Bayit. B'nai Bayit.
They cannot benefit.
They cannot benefit because it's considered he did it for them.
But if I go to synagogue, who want a lunch? Come with me.
Exactly.
That's all we study also.
You can give it to other
Can I do
people.
for the people, the guests, maybe he got it for the guests for the next day? He can.
If they're his guests,
the
the problem.
buys on that day.
If it's his guests, the problem. But one second. Interesting. The food or the item is not muktzah, even for the person himself. Since other people can use it, it's not muktzah because it has a use. Yes.
Let's say God was toilish fruit from the tree, from your tree. Okay? So Esau. And he adds those fruit in the food that they have before Shabbos, the mixed up. So now is it to be battle the whole? How is like the whole bucket become like asur?
Anybody who can help us with that question? That's correct.
So the whole thing gonna be asur
That's correct.
Rabbi,
until after Shabbos or complete?
Till after Shabbos. Till
Rabbi,
after Shabbos.
we study the goy cannot bring your food or anything in your house. If you do it in my house, he cannot come over and is switching or so do something. He should not do that. But he cannot forbidding me because he's doing something nobody told him.
Mashal. Ten le mashal.
Mashal. The food. My food is here before Shabbat. I want to enjoy the Shabbat, the fruit. He came over without anybody telling. He go to the outside like he's taking a couple of them, and he mixing with my fruit. By his there, he cannot forbidden my food.
You may have a cloud like that.
Because I don't need that to whatever he take it out.
The local kafara.
We studied something about.
We had other cases, but if a goy takes something that is usher, he mixes it into your things. So it's not that he made them usher; it's that there's a mixture. Your stuff is mutar, but you don't know which stuff yours is. You understand?
But I understand that.
What about anybody? What about somebody else? Not a goy. Anybody comes in, takes non-kosher food. 1 second, mixes it with your food. He has no right. He has no right, but he did it anyway. What do you mean? It's a mixture, and if it's not batel b'shishim, it's asur.
What do we say the דבר שיש לו מטרים לא בטל לעולם?
Pesach.
We said it here. No, this is an example.
But this one is going to be mutar after Shabbat.
No,
He said.
not lo-olam. The whole point of the sheyesh lo matirin is that it's not lo-olam. Yesh lo matirin. Afilu be'elef lo batel, lo lo-olam. Afilu be'elef lo batel. But of course it's going to be mutar. That's what the sheyesh lo matirin means. Yesh lo matirin. It will become mutar. Yeah. Okay. Another point is that we said.
It doesn't make my sense. I know the rabbi is forbidding my stuff, but we said something about if this is the only food I have for Shabbat, right? And he's coming over, and he did something forbidding for Shabbat, food. And this is the only food for Shabbat. He do it by himself. He can forbid my food.
We had such a concept.
Yes.
We had something that was already cooked, and he heats it up, and you didn't tell him to.
Yes.
So there we said you could eat it.
Yes.
By heating it, by cooking it.
No, but he didn't cook it.
No.
If he
don't
cooked
cook
it, then you can't benefit because the fact is you're benefiting from his cooking. But if it's already edible and he just heated it up, that's when we said you don't have to.
Not from the tree.
But not if you saw. If you saw and you didn't stop him, then you can't. But if you didn't know on his own, he came and he did it. You didn't know, then you can eat it. It's already cooked beforehand, fully cooked. Okay. So we also said that if a goy does something for himself and you want to benefit from it, so then it depends. If it's something that he would not have to add to for other people, for example, a light turns on a light, he makes a ramp for people to walk down, or anything else like that, where it's enough, one is enough for many people, then you can benefit from it. Because he did it for himself, or for any other guy, or for a majority, a group of people that's a majority of them are goyim. All in all those cases, you're allowed to benefit. But if it's a case where he did it for you, of course it's a problem. But even if he didn't do it for you, he did it for himself or for another guy. But it's a type of thing that when you have more people, you add to it, like heating up water and capturing animals, picking fruit,
Like for the chole, he
cooked for the chole.
because you got left over.
In all those cases, you cannot benefit, even if he didn't add for you, because Gezerah, there's a decree that he might add for you. If he knows you, only if he knows you.
If he doesn't, yeah.
Even if he didn't, but because he might, you can't benefit, even from what he didn't
know
add.
him, he doesn't know you.
If you don't know him, then yeah, then it's okay. As long as he did it for himself.
One Shabbos was a different security guy came. And he needed hot water. There was no hot water that Shabbos. Then he bought the water. It wasn't the regular one.
And you want to tea?
Lo nirali.
Why?
Because if he's working in the shul,
Yeah, but it just came in just for
doesn't make a difference. He sees there are people around and he's working in for them. I mean, he's working with the security company, but he's working for them indirectly.
He came this for himself.
I understand that, but because he's working in that building for the people there, it's a likely thing.
That actually we can use it. That we cannot.
I don't know. Lo
Sometimes
baruli.
there's no concept about this.
Lo baruli. Lo baruli. If it's a security guard in the next building and he doesn't work for the Jews at all, and you're passing by and you see he made himself some hot water, you say, can I have some of that?
Yeah, but this one is.
You can take that, why not?
Why not? If he didn't do it for him, if he did it for himself and he doesn't know you, that's, yeah, you can take. But if he did it for you, or if he knows you, even if he did it for himself, then we're afraid he'll add for you. Then it's a problem. Now here's an important difference though. In these cases, where he didn't actually do it for you, we're just afraid he might do it for you, it's not asur b'chdei sheyasa, it's only asur until after Shabbos. Same thing if he cooked for a chole she'ein bo sakana, which we said is mutter, you can't benefit on Shabbos from it. The chole himself, yes, obviously. But other people cannot, because he may add. But after Shabbos, there's no b'chdei sheyasa, because there was no isur done. Nobody did anything wrong.
If you have a stove all the time on, and the guy is cooking for himself, so it's not bishula cook because he's
For Ashkenazim.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here is he's cooking for himself. Then at this point, we don't allow to benefit. Maybe we'll head more for the next time.
If he knows you, yeah. If he knows you.
If he doesn't know you, it's okay. You take some food and eat.
Yeah.
Because it's not bishula cook because it's already fire over there.
Yeah. For Achinu Bnei Yisrael Ashkenazim.
Only because the fire is there.
So I didn't have to put the food on the fire. Lo maspik she'adliku et haner. Yeah. צריכים שיתנו את ה...
So for Sfaradi, he cannot benefit because he did not put the food. And you cannot put the food, it's like cooking.
Of course. מה אתה אומר? באמת? למה? לא שמעתי. I mean, no, I never heard that there's Ashkenazim. It's not across the board that they're machmir like a mechaber. I mean, sometimes.
It's not
Saying the opposite. Then we see that everyone's going to make them.
Yeah, most of the caterers don't do it. Most of the caterers are not machmir.
No, but the Mishkiach would actually, that somebody asks, I mean, it's happened before, like, they will put the Mishkiach will put the fish or the chicken or whatever.
Yeah, if it's a Sephardic simcha or something, they'll ask them to cook it or to be involved.
All you have to do is start the cooking, right?
Like
Yeah, you
put
have to finish it.
Store,
You
store.
put it actually on the.
Because I don't mix around.
It's
either
a
one.
lot, yes.
Either one. Put it on or mix it in the before
as
it's
you put it
cooked
on
1/3.
there.
Before it's cooked. Before it's cooked, k'ma'achal ben rusai. Mix it is also good. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about a few of the exceptions and when it is allowed to have a goy work for you on Shabbos. Exception number 1, bein hashmoshos.
By the way, Safir Yom Asur, it's not allowed in any case.
Correct. Schir yom is considered your shaliach, or a schir sha'a, or a schir shana, for that matter. Kablan is the only case that is allowed. Kablan pirusho that he works
For himself.
by the job, he does it whenever he wants, and he gets paid by the job.
Anytime you want, go back in. That's why we allow.
Gam, and he's also paid by the job. He doesn't get paid by the hour or by the day or year. So, bein hashmashot, a few of the exceptions when it's allowed to ask a guy to do work for us. Bein hashmashot pirusho, in the beginning of Shabbos, after the sun sets, before the stars come out, we said really a Jew could do any shvus in the case of shas adchak, in the case of necessity, in the case of urgency, in the case of financial loss. So one of those shvusim that is allowed is telling a goy to do work, even a de'oraisa, in bein hashmashos.
Actually, it's good.
Hafsek gadol or shas adchak. Afילו אם זה לא hafsek gadol. Shas adchak. An example is you forgot to turn the lights on. You need light. You have guests. It's dark in the dining room,
You
but
tell
it's
them,
before tzeta kol
you
chavim.
can tell them directly.
You can tell them directly. Before tzeta kol chavim, you can tell them directly.
You used to say so a bit, huh? You're enough for to take out.
So tell them, so give him shinui.
And you can only do shkia because it's
So only 2 cases, Besor Gedol, so you, Beshad Chag, you'll have to give directly without even a remes, Ben Hashmashot, very good. Correct?
Yes, correct.
These the only 2 I've
No.
said, and Tzat Chag?
Tzorech gadol. Tzorech gadol. Yesh makom lamar, but only if you're machmir like a benatam by all dinim, not just by Shabbos. A lot of people are machmir like a benatam for Shabbos because it's a car, ski, or whatever, but not when it comes to Krishma, for example, Meyer. Okay, but here you can't rely on a benatam then, because what you're saying is the ikar halacha for you is not like a benatam.
Only Motzei Shabbat, not be Friday.
Friday evening you can't. No.
Yeah, because
I don't know if anybody.
You have to hold back.
Whatever's man you hold by for the raisas. I'm saying for Krishma. Whatever's man you hold by Krishma, whoever you paskin like, so you can rely on. I mean, the Alter Rebbe has his manim, Moshe, I don't know, different shittas have this man.
I have a friend who used to come out of shul every week in Bein Hashmashos. So he'll leave shul already after Navadar, Bein Hashmashos. So he used to live in a very high building, so the minion that he knew he was be able to ask a guy to press the button.
That's funny.
Rabbi,
Whereas
there's,
would that even be a heter? According to what the Rebbe said?
Rabbi,
I mean, the whole thing about Ben Hashmashos is not something you're supposed to plan on. I mean, it's mutter, it's taka mutter. You're supposed to plan on it, like a seder out of it every week.
Rabbi,
I don't think so. Doesn't sit right by me.
So we say also regarding Ben Hashmashot that if you already in a Uber or a taxi, you're allowed to continue until like That's it. And then stop.
If it's a Saragodol, I mean,
You have to make it to Shabbos.
that's a Saragodol. Otherwise, you're going to be in the middle of nowhere. That's a
So you're
Saragodol.
allowed to continue and leave the car just.
You told him before Shabbat, you tell him driving all the way to this house. Then you can pay him probably before Shabbat, and then while you're driving, it's Zorakadori or Saraka?
Until Ben Hashmashot. In Ben Hashmashot, yes.
And then you close your eyes until you get into home.
What do you only 6 minutes? That's it over here. Or 36 minutes?
I mean, I know what the Alter Rebbe says. I don't know how to put it into
Because
Miami
during the
times.
week it's
Where's the
one
rocket?
time and on Shabbos it's different time. Usually it's about like 40 something minutes, no? Almost 43 minutes, officially.
I mean, the Alter Rebbe in the Shulchan Aruch says 18 minutes.
No, from Shkia to Tzed.
I had 20 minutes. 20 minutes. 18 for Rabbi Yehuda and another 2 for Rabbi Yezi.
But you're having another extra 3 minutes.
2 minutes. Extra 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Sure.
After
20.
Oh, you mean because of the 4 minutes in the beginning?
See, like 23 minutes. No? He's adding 3 minutes from the Shkia, but now
He adds another 4 minutes in the beginning. So it could be it's a total of 24. But that's for Eretz Yisrael in a certain time of year, in spring or fall. I don't know how to. I mean, I know this manam of Chabad.org. That's what I go by, which is based on Alter Rebbe's Psak. But I don't honestly know how they calculate it from
it's about
Yerushalayim to Miami and how they base it every day of the year because it changes. So I never. Yeah, it's a site that's run by people who know what they're doing. So yeah. So that's what I go by.
I know, according to Valmacha, the
Not my
Mishnah
zman.
is 40 minutes over here.
Because my Zmanim has different Zmanim. They have different Zmanim for different
It's
Shitas.
like the one that they give, the simple one, usually the simple page, not with all these on it. The one says.
No, that's later than Chabad's. Later than Chabad's. For Shabbos, I personally do a bit of time, but only as a bli neder. Like, if I need to, I wasn't makabel on myself that it's a neder. So if I need to,
20 minutes after the Tzed,
it's
for him it's 72 minutes after Shkia, no?
72 minutes of Shkia.
7 Afshki, exactly.
So it's an extra 30 minutes after the regular, so in the regular one it's like
Approximately, yeah.
it's about 40 minutes and this next 40 minutes.
Approximately.
Rabbi, he mentioned about the Ma'alit. If it's a Ma'alit Shabbat, stepping everyone going down, open every
It
level.
depends if it's built by a Jew or not. If it's built by a Jew, you cannot use it, then you understand. No?
We are in a building.
No?
We're in a going country, and I'm considered all the building is for going. I don't know.
No, but if,
Rabbi. So is this you allowed to go out?
Malit Shabbat is complicated, but yesh v'yesh.
יש מתירים?
יש מתירים, כן. אבל
Because I remember one.
צריכים לעיין בכל אחד בנפרד. כן.
אני פעם אחת הלכתי בכיפור לבית מלון, והמעלית עולה ויורדת בכל קומה.
כן.
המזל שלי שאני הייתי באותו קומה של הזה. זה
It's like the
המזל
wrong
שלי.
day to start.
אבל
start
כולם
with
היו,
Malit Shabbat.
כולם היו עולים ויורדים.
Like you don't use Malit Shabbat all of a sudden on Yom Kippur when you want to be as pure as possible yourself.
I mean, I remember when I was,
Okay, another situation where you're allowed to ask a goy, even the favors to do work for you, is a choyle she'in b'sakana. Choyle she'esh b'sakana, you could have even a Jew do, obviously. But a choyle she'in b'sakana, which is defined as a person who is bedridden as a result of their sickness, you can ask a goy to do anything he needs.
so if בן אדם,
No, choyle she'in b'sakana.
בן אדם
Finish
מבוגר,
better.
בן אדם מבוגר, והוא ממש מבוגר, והוא בא לבית כנסת, והוא כולל לקומה שנייה, אז הגוי יכול לעשות אותה.
אם הוא בא לבית כנסת, הוא לא חולה שאין בו סכנה. חולה שאין בו סכנה, פירושו מי שמוטל במיטה. לא יכול לצאת. או מהבית, לכל הפחות, שהוא לא יוצא מהבית, הוא חולה.
מבוגר גם כן?
לא, מבוגר לאו דווקא. לא כל מבוגר חולה שבסוף.
אם מביאים אותו עם ווילצ'ר,
מה השאלה?
אם הוא מותר לגוי לקחת את המעלית לקומה שנייה להתפלל במניין.
What would it be allowed?
השאלה הבנת?
Yeah, what would it be allowed?
I don't give any heter for telling a guy to use any elevator on Shabbos because people misuse these heterim. People misuse it.
Unless if they do the מעלית for Shabbat.
In theory, you could say, Shvus to Shvus, Ayadei Goy, L'tzorch Mitzvah. He wants a daven, and elevator is only electricity.
So I heard the bulbs. The reason not a lot of folks didn't allow because the bulb was
Right. Shlomo Zalman talks about that, yeah.
Everybody else is said it's the rice of the bulb.
Right.
But nowadays probably it's not.
So if it's
Right.
not light
A lot of
over
them are
there,
probably
if it's
LED.
not light, it's
Probably.
okay.
I don't know for sure.
Not only that, but I think when the elevators have like sensors as well.
That's also true.
To really watch out.
A lot of them have scales.
Usual actually is it make it, the whole technology that
Yeah.
set it up in a way.
Yeah,
The weight is like, it's the same.
If you have a proper Malit Shabbat, then there's
Just make it.
there's no shaila if you have a proper Malit Shabbat, except for maybe Zelzel Shabbos ways. But if it's done properly, it's yeah, exactly. Exactly. But Lamaisa, I don't personally give Hatayim for elevators just because it's too risky. People, too abused, way abused.
Technically, what would be the issue if it's shvus?
Technically, I'm not saying it's an issue, but it's people misuse that heter and say, well, it's every time I want to go to shul, it's a mitzvah. So shvus to shvus, makom mitzvah. Every time I want to go to my house, it's a mitzvah. It's Shabbos meal, shvus to shvus. It's totally.
Wait, so it's not what? If it's actually like that, why wouldn't it be allowed?
Because it's not. I mean, walk the stairs. Shvus to shvus, makom mitzvah is only if it's you can't do it yourself. It's not.
What if it's a makom tzar? Let's say you live on the 25th floor, or you're on the 25th floor of a hotel.
Again, I'm not going to give a heter. It's a difficult child. It says Sar Gadol, for example. But who says it's Sar Gadol if you stay in your apartment? So maybe that itself is Sar Gadol.
If there's any way to.
I don't give a heter.
Someone that's.
It's misused.
Someone that's.
1 second. Besides the fact that what do you have to be in that apartment for? Putting yourself in a position. Yes.
Someone's at the handicap by himself to use electric wheelchair to go to shul.
They have these ones that are built with grama, chleis, achon somet.
I don't know if they have it here in America.
They have it here in America. What do you mean? I see people using it.
What's it called? What?
Somet,
Summit?
yeah.
What's that?
They build it with a grama. It's a grama switch. The switch doesn't turn it directly. The switch does something, which does something, which does.
Shabbos.
Yes, it's like the Shabbos switch. So the Shabbos switch was being used for regular people. This is for people who are handicapped. So there is some kosher way. I don't know if it's that kosher, honestly, because I also never looked into it. But I know there are Talmidei Chachamim, and at least there are Mekilim.
This makilim?
Yesh makom, but I'm saying it shouldn't be a regular one. Okay, Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, we said you're allowed to tell a guy to sign and make papers to be able to buy in Eretz Yisrael. Shvus to Shvus, this is the big one. Shvus to Shvus, for a mitzvah, first of all, for a great financial loss, a great need, or a choyle, or mixas choyle. So a gadol, hefsid meruba, mitzvah, or mixas choyle.
What's an example of the great financial loss here? Like you dropped your wallet or something?
1 second, one thing at a time. What's the great financial loss? It depends how much is in the wallet. If there's a lot of money in it, then absolutely it's a great financial loss. If there's a small amount, not. If there's somewhere in between, I don't know.
What about identity, though? That's worth a
That's
lot
a great
too.
financial loss. That is a great financial loss, absolutely. The problem of getting back your identity is very difficult. Yes, I agree with that.
Mix of clothing, what exactly is the line? Mix of clothing to one, can I take mix of clothing to the other one? So how exactly?
Mixes choili, afal pisha in a koilel. Mixes choili, afal pisha in a koilel es kol aguf, veloy sakonas aver.
זה מותר רבי?
headache? Stomach?
כל הגוף, הרגל שלו כואבת, או יש לו גרס.
שאינו כולל את כל הגוף.
שאינו. זאת אומרת, אם יש לו גרס ברגל, זה בסדר רבי?
Yeah, let me see what he says in Shin Chaf Ches.
What's the enough of the goy for mixed clothing?
Shvus to shvus. You can ask him to do the Rabbanan.
Teach me a little bit, Schwutz, okay.
Michush ba'alma. אתה שומע? If it's a mixas choili, you can ask him to do a shvus to shvus. Avam ein lo afilu mikzat choli, ela michush ba'alma. If it's just a michush ba'alma, headache, stomach ache. Exactly. It's not a choil l'shem v'sakana. He's not stuck in bed. But he has a choili. But he's not a michush ba'alma.
Every shvus to shvus is allowed?
That's what it says.
So it's okay.
Well, I can tell a goy everything.
Telling a goy to tell a goy is a machlokes. That's a machlokes achrayim. Some say it's not a shvus to shvus.
But it's one type of shvus, the same type of shvus. And you have to do 2 different shvus categories.
I don't remember who the machmirim were.
I don't get
the dirshu.
I don't get the point.
Shvus to shvus pirusho levakesh megoy la'asot isur d'Rabbanan.
Oh, okay. So anything לבקש מכל shvut d'Rabbanan, shvut to shvut,
Exactly.
it's okay.
Okay, l'shem mitzvah, miktzat choli, hefsed meruba, or tzorach gadol.
Where is this written at?
Shin Zayin Hey.
It's not already?
It's in Alter Rebbe, and the Mechaber is also Shin Zayin Hey. In Alter Rebbe it's Shin Zayin Yud Beis. In the Mechaber it's Shin Zayin Hey.
Wow, I can see this one being really misused. Any Yisr Darabanan by a goy then would be allowed by us.
חידוש,
כולם גדולה.
Oh, by the way, when you said the father did the mezuzah?
Sorry?
Did they move the mezuzah? They came the following week? He does.
לא זוכר. לא זוכר.
יש לו? איפה? ומה אמרת על הספר החדש? איזה ספר?
אני לא מוצא את זה.
על
I mean, I can't find the two opinions about Shvus to Shvus. If you ask a goy to ask a goy. I know Shlomo Zalman is makel on that, but I don't remember who the Machmirim are.
What's the goy? What's the original question?
The question was, if you ask a goy to ask another goy to do an Issa D'Oraisa. If you ask a goy, ask a goy. Shlomo Zalman says that is a regular Shvus to Shvus, and that's allowed. But there were Achronim who disagreed with that, and I don't really remember who they are.
So how's that different than asking just a goy to do an Yisur D'Oraisa and then asking the goy to ask a goy? I don't understand the difference.
If you ask a goy to ask a goy, so you're asking him to do it Rabbanan, because he's not doing it himself. You're asking him to ask the goy. So the second goy is doing the D'Oraisa. The first goy is doing the Rabbanan. You're telling the first goy to do it Rabbanan.
In other words, but if I asked a goy to do something that would like to turn, light a fire, that would be a D'Oraisa.
Exactly.
But if I asked the goy to ask a goy, then that would be a D'Rabbanan.
Exactly.
To light the fire. Oh, I see. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very dangerous.
It's dangerous, but knowledge can be dangerous. A little bit of knowledge is dangerous, but hopefully you'll apply it properly.
Yeah, that's a good one. I never heard of that. That's like really
I'm still discussing telling a goy to ask a goy.
pushing the envelope, I guess.
So the whole what we learn is like Amira leNochri, goy. So, but the goy is allowed to.
What?
It's talking about the goy. It's a male. Can I say to a female to do it for me? It doesn't say goy. It says it's a goy.
That's a good deal, Rabbi. You just machadish the law. That's it.
Okay.
Plus, it says in the Mishnah, it says the halacha says in Kutzari Hey, it says lo yiga yigaba or lo yigaba. So he says, and don't think it means that she
Only him. Yeah, Chazal usually speak in one gender, and they expect you to understand the same for the other gender. Rabbi Sai, we are starting Muksa tonight, tomorrow night. I hope everybody enjoyed learning Amira leNochri and have it clear. And if not, that's the plan. Maybe 311 and 312 too. No, not 312. Sorry, maybe 311 also.
Could you please email out the
Yud Aleph.
Rabbi?
No, we're not going to do all of them. We're going to skip around. It's a lot. It's too much to finish.
Could you please email out?
We're going to do whatever I decide. Today is Teves. Teves and Shvat. And then what? Adar Rishon for Choila, and then Adar Sheni for Chazara. I think 2 months for Muksa, 1 month for Choila, and then 1 month for review before we take a test. Make sense?
Okay.
Maximally.
What? Could you please email out what?
I'll email out a syllabus. Yeah.
Right.
No, I try to make the test at the end of this month. Before Pesach. Siman Shin Ches וגם שין פה עד הסוף, כל דיני מוקצה. כן. מה שכתוב מוקצה? לא. Okay, all the best everybody.